Okay, good afternoon, everybody. I'm going to call this meeting to order. Today is a special called meeting of the Commissioners Court of Hood County, Texas. Today is March 18, 2025. It's 2:30 p.m., and we are in the central jury room of the Ralph H. Walton Jr. Justice Center at 1200 West Pearl Street in Granbury, Texas. So we'd like to start today with the invocation. We're going to call on Jack Wilson to give the invocation.
Gracious Heavenly Father, we're thankful for this opportunity to meet with the citizens of this county. We ask as we go forward in this endeavor that your hand will guide us and guide them as we go forward. Be with each one of us and bless this community as the tragedy that has occurred this week. Also, let us not forget that and help everyone to heal from that. It's in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen. That's now. Okay. All right. We have one topic today that we're going to discuss, and that is to discuss the real estate lease regarding the YMCA. And it's such a thrill to see how many citizens have come out. And so far, we have 25 speakers that have signed up. And since we have now started this, we're cutting it off at 25 speakers. Normally, our rules provide a maximum of 30 minutes for speakers' comments on any one topic. But today, given the fact we have 25 speakers, we're going to go ahead and allow 2 minutes per speaker. So everybody knows that. So we have 25 speakers. Is that it? All right. And the first speaker is Patricia Sills-Haynes. Yes, ma'am.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Patricia Sills-Haynes, and we've lived in Granbury for 10 years, and I retired for the second time in January with some health issues, and I was told to, exercise. And so we go to the YMCA, and I'm just so grateful that we have it available to us. And I take part in, besides working out on the machines, pickleball, water aerobics, stretch yoga, which is very important for somebody my age, and some of the other activities like line dancing and bunko and bikino. And this is something that as we get older, it keeps us up and excited and moving. Plus, we met an awful lot of people. My husband's a photographer, and he volunteers his services for some of the kids' activities. And it's so great to see all the work that the YMCA staff is doing. They're just out there helping families, helping kids. And I'm concerned that if we did close down the YMCA, that these kids wouldn't have this opportunity. So, please, I ask you to, think in terms of the neighborhood and why this is so good for Granbury. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next speaker is Robin Schmidt.
My name is Robin Schmidt, and my husband and I, Steve Bumpus, moved to Granbury. We purchased our home in 2014, And one of the reasons that we selected Granbury as the community that we wanted to live in and thrive in is because of the bond that was passed in the previous year to build the YMCA. We felt like a community that could invest in people of all ages and create a place for people to gather was a community that we wanted to be a part of. We're very strong members of the Triple Cross Cowboy Church, and we've been committed to serving our community through that Triple Cross Cowboy Church check wagon team. And when I retired last June 7th from the Boys and Girls Clubs of America, 2 days later I started my role as the executive director of the YMCA. I was a Y kid who received an Open Doors scholarship when I was 11 to attend my local YMCA, and the individuals and the adults there that shaped the trajectory of the next 7 years of my life and held me accountable to what it meant to be an adult, I will never be able to repay that debt. So when I had the opportunity to come and work for the Y here, it was not even maybe, it was an absolutely yes, because I wanted to pay back the community that I live in the way that adults invested in me. I have built such amazing friendships. I'm in love with most of the people in this room, and it would break my heart. I'll be fine if I don't have a job, but it would break my heart if these individuals did not have the community that they have built. And the YMCA is a community within a community within a community. We've got pickleballers, we've got water aerobics, we've got our 75 kids who come every day after school from Acton Middle School. I ask you, where would they go if that facility was not available to them? We have our summer camp kids. I could just expound on the list, but I won't take any more time, and I just ask you to please help us find a resolution that works for both the county and the YMCA.
Thank you. Next speaker is John Michael Korn.
Your Honor, Commissioners, I work with the YMCA, and as one of the few people in the room that was here for the initial agreement and the initial negotiations and the initial bond, I just want to keep my conversation to the facts. There's a lot of misinformation going on out there. There was a bond put together. That bond was presented to the voters of Hood County and passed 60-40 in the county. That bond has been satisfied in the full, which means that the taxpayers paid for the community center run by the YMCA, but there has been no funds required from the taxpayer since that bond was satisfied and since that bond was passed. All of the maintenance of that building, all of the repairs of that building, everything that have been needed for that building have come from the YMCA. The YMCA has had years where it made a profit. But what I will tell you is the profit never exceeded the amount of dollars that we donated back to this community through scholarships and free programs and open doors. This is what the YMCA does. The YMCA is here as a member of the community. We've tried for 16 months to have this conversation. We've tried for 16 months to have this conversation with you. And we are in this spot today because none of those conversations happened until I came and asked and you guys terminated the agreement. And that's the first time we were able to talk. Those are the facts. There isn't anything that I'm saying that isn't true. And I just want the taxpayers and the citizens of Hood County and the members of the Y to know that that is the facts of this situation. There is no burden, no tax burden to the citizens of Hood County, nor have there been since this bond was satisfied. Thank you.
Mike Brown.
Good afternoon, Judge, Commissioners. My name is Mike Brown, and I stand before you today not just as the President and CEO of the YMCA of Metropolitan Fort Worth, but as someone whose life has been shaped, supported, and saved by this organization. In 2024 alone, the Hood County YMCA served over 16,000 people children, families, seniors, and individuals from all walks of life. We directly invested more than $1 million each year into the local economy, supporting jobs, businesses, and community growth. The impact of the YMCA is so significant that we were recently honored as Granbury's best large business by the Chamber of Commerce. That recognition speaks volumes about the value we bring to this community. But today is not about awards, numbers, or politics. It's about people. It's about the real lives impacted by the YMCA. I want you to consider a story, my own. Imagine a young boy abused, struggling, lost. A teenager who saw no way out and attempted to take his own life. A young man who lost his first child as the towers fell on 9/11. A husband who found faith in Christ, only to lose his wife just 4 years ago. Through every hardship, there was one constant in my life since the age of 3, and that was the YMCA. As a child, the Y gave me a scholarship so I could go to camp, play sports, and have a safe place in after-school programs, while my single mother worked hard to provide for us. The Y was my support system, my lifeline, and the reason I stand here today. And now we provide that same support for families right here in Hood County every single day. I just ask one thing. Invite me into the room, and let's have the first meeting, all of us together, and talk about how we can make the YMCA successful and stay in Hood County. Thank you.
The next speaker is Steve Bumpus.
Good afternoon, Judge and Commissioners. Thank you for your time today. I can't follow that. But what I can tell you, for someone that doesn't have that kind of tragedy in my life, that the community that's created here at the YMCA doesn't exist anywhere else. I go to a big church with some big people, and we're able to help or work out with that organization. Folks of all ages, whether they're playing pickleball or they need to get in shape again, they have a place to go. I don't think Hood County can be a better place without having the Y stay here. They also put money back into the community that I don't think that ever comes up with their seeing 1,400 to 1,500 people a day. So thank you for your time.
The next speaker is Alexander Wolf.
Good morning, Commissioners. Thank you for the opportunity to address you today regarding the YMCA. My name is Alex Wolf, local business owner, and I speak from a commitment to the equity in our community. As someone who owns a local gym, I've seen firsthand the challenges faced by businesses that operate without the benefit of public subsidy. The YMCA, while very valuable, enjoys an extraordinary advantage with a nominal lease, one unavailable to private enterprises like mine and others in Hood County. These businesses, gyms, fitness centers, summer camps, and beyond pay market rents, shoulder full operational costs, and sustain our local economy without such support. To renew this previous deal is to tilt the scales unfairly, undermining fair competition and the livelihoods tied to it. I respectfully urge you to consider this for all who invest in our county. Thank you.
The next speaker is Sherry Johnson.
Good afternoon. I'm Sherry Johnson. I'm just a retired teacher who has lived in Granbury for 13 years. I always have worked out when I lived in Waco, and as soon as we came to Granbury, I sought out the YMCA because I heard that at that time, I think they just opened up their new facility. It is a state-of-the-art facility. When my grandchildren come here, they're always like, wow, I can't believe how great your Y is. and they love it. It would be a huge loss for Granbury not to have it. I don't work for the YMCA, but I know all of these people who do and are in my Silver Sneakers class. So thank you, thank you, thank you to the YMCA for being here, and I want it to stay no matter what. However it can happen, it needs to stay. It would be a huge loss for our community. That's all.
The next speaker is Anita Barnett.
Good afternoon, and thank you for this opportunity to speak. My name is Anita Barnett, and I've been a citizen of Hood County since 1986. I've never come before the court before to ask for anything, but I am here today to advocate for keeping the YMCA open. The YMCA provides some fantastic services, and I wish that when I came to Granbury in 1986, they had some of the services available that the Y provides today. Child care gives an opportunity for young parents to get out and socialize a little bit. Lots of people use it for the swim team. It has some unique features that some of the other gyms in town don't have, and they maintain hours that make it more convenient and available to the community. That's all I wanted to say. Please consider keeping it open for all of us. Thank you.
The next speaker is Diana Smith.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon. My name is Diana Smith. My husband and I moved to Hood County about 10 years ago. 9 years ago, we joined the Y. Our Y is not a gym. It is a place of a community. We provide services for our schools to be able to send their kids to learn to swim in track and meets, and to be together. It provides an opportunity for seniors to gather after they've had their walk or their workout and talk about what's going on in their lives. And so many of our seniors don't have that anywhere else. So the things that the Y offers to this community are so much more than just a gym. And if we lose that, then we have lost a huge part of our heart. Thank you.
Next speaker is Michelle Duskin.
Good afternoon. I have nothing prepared, so everything I say is going to come from my heart. I'm a member of the YMCA, my husband and I both, and I will tell you my first impression of being a member there as I walked on the treadmill and I saw people hobbling into the building, zipping into the building. You see all kinds of people coming into that building to better their lives. It blows me away. Paraplegics, crippled people, people in wheelchairs. This is what they have to keep going. And for someone like me who's blessed to not have many health problems, I just kind of puts me on a guilt trip to see how hard these people who are handicapped and everything, who have so much going against them, how they keep going. And I just want to say, if you can't put any other picture in your mind, think of that. Think, what are these people going to do if they don't have the YMCA to go to? What are we all going to do? I'm a future double knee replacement person, and I'm trying to, prep myself for whenever I have to have my knees replaced. And the Y is my place to go. And it's awesome. It's an asset to the community. I can't imagine Granbury not having a YMCA. And if for some reason it does shut down, what is going to be done with this facility? I mean, this is what it's built for. So I just ask you to please think about these people and think about what it means to all of us. Thank you.
Next speaker is Jarrett Stone.
Thank y'all for having me. I'd like to talk about the YMCA. Everybody says it's a community. It's not a community. They segregate people about what they do at the Y. They've had an incredible lease for 10 years. There is no maintenance done at this facility. Why maintain a facility that you lease for $1 a year? They don't care. The pool. How many winters has the pool heater been broken where the kids could not swim, or if they did swim, their lips were blue? They won't talk about all the maintenance they do. They do no maintenance. The bathrooms are disgusting. They don't maintain the bathrooms.
Hold it, hold it.
That's okay.
Hold it. Order, please.
Anyway, I think it would be in our best interest that the Y be shut down for that reason. And everybody can boo at me, that's fine. Okay, you have your opinion, that's fine.
Be respectful, please.
But I mean, I've seen what my kids have to go through. When they go to the pool, they don't know if they can swim or not because it could be too cold. They don't even hire somebody that will actually maintain the pH balance of the pool. That is a big issue.
The next person that has an outburst, I'm going to ask the sheriff to remove you. Everybody has a right to speak their opinion. Now be courteous to everybody. You can have a difference of opinion. We're giving you your 2 minutes to speak. The next person that has an outburst will be asked to be escorted out by Sheriff Deeds. Please, continue.
Thank y'all. I mean, I won't cause any more ruckus, but I know I'll be probably the first one to say this, but I think it'd be a good idea for the Y to be shut down in that response. Thank you.
The next speaker is Calvin Lawrence.
Good afternoon, Judge Massengale and commissioners. And I promise, hopefully, there won't be any outbursts with what I have to say, negative outbursts. So I've been here 15 years. My wife, my son, and I, son spent some time being a lifeguard, some of the best years of his life. I was trying to figure out how I would approach coming up here because so many of you are going to talk in a positive way about the Y and the family and the community. And I'm looking around, I see members that I see working out all the time. I see my boss, I see a couple of other folks that are, there's so much, folks, that they should have cots because they're there. And when these people talk about how much of a community influence that Y has, I didn't see it. I started working part-time with them in August, September. And my eyes really were open. You could have told me something before, but this is why you guys, if you haven't been there, you need to go and see what's going on there because there's so much. I wanted to say something from the perspective of diversity, and somebody touched on it just a little bit, but I'm going to piggyback on her, and that is that there are folks that are there, and they come together in the community that I don't see it anywhere else in this entire community. It happens at the Y. I have not seen that in a lot of places, and I've been a lot of places. I'm a Virginia boy and a big city guy coming to the small town or rural areas. But we've got it here. We've got great people here. We've got the community here. We've got to make this thing happen for our Y, and we've got to keep it open. And we do need to make some improvements. I will say that. But what we have is some of the greatest people in the world who are making that Y happen. And so I just thank you for your time. I wasn't even supposed to come up here, but I'm here. Thank you.
The next speaker is Faith Edgar.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak. I am a 4-year resident of Granbury along with my dear husband. We chose to move here to be near family, but a huge deciding factor was the fact that there was a YMCA on offer. My husband was very recently it became an above-knee amputee before we decided to move here. His preferable form of exercise is swimming, and to have a pool available for his rehab to learn how to walk and function again was a deciding factor to move here. If that's taken away, it will become a deciding factor for us to change our living situation. I also am a part-time yoga instructor at the Y, which I highly enjoy. It's very fulfilling to me, and I see the benefits on many levels of the classes that the Y offers, the services they provide, the fact that they're an emergency shelter in times of need, the wide range of ages that enjoy the facilities, the sense of community that it provides, the education that it provides. Children learn how to swim. That saves lives. So I'm very much in favor of an agreement being entered into with the Y again. Thank you.
The next speaker is Don Steen.
Thank you very much. I've been a member and participant of the Y since moving to Granbury in 2011 when I retired. And I've been associated with the Y since high school when I refereed basketball games for $1. After school program, I directed as a college student, and then I directed their summer day camps in the summer. So I know the value of the YMCA, and I've seen the good that has come out of it. I've also was involved in church recreation ministry for 25 years, overseeing construction management programming of church recreation facilities similar to the Y. So I know the value of having a recreation facility in a community. I remember that we voted for a bond issue, and I voted for it to build the YMCA facility to be managed by the Fort Worth Metro YMCA. I understood the property was to be provided in some way by GISD, and the Fort Worth Metro Y would staff, program, and manage the facility. I understand some legal issue changed the provision of the property by GISD, but I'm not sure exactly what was involved there. Hood County YMCA has exceeded expectations, not only for me, but for our community. I use it Monday through Friday at 5 a.m., where I'm warmly greeted by Christy, who welcomes everybody that comes in that Y by name. The Granbury High School swim team has benefited greatly by the Y. They have after-school programs, exercise, fitness, many sports programs, and I contribute personally, financially, to the Y to make sure and allow that nobody is turned away. I think this has already been answered, but I was wondering what the expense was to Hood County. So I'm not sure who I'm stealing this quote from, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Next speaker is Tom Scott.
I think it goes without saying that I'm very nervous. I'm not a public speaker, but judge, commissioners, I come before you today just as an old guy that goes there 5 days a week, and I don't know what my life would be like without it. Like Don Steen, who's a friend of mine, I'm greeted when I get there with a big smile, and some of the best friends that I have are the community that sits around and has coffee, and there's like 3 shifts of old guys that come through there. I'm on the second shift. But I don't know what personally I'll do without it. I love it, and I've told Christy this place is a blessing for me. It's always clean. There'll be a machine that we joke about that can't seem to get fixed. But I mean, every place has problems, and it's the way you address your problems. And I can't believe the pictures that I'm seeing. That place is clean, it's warm, it's community, it's a big part of my life, and I don't know what I'll do if you take it away. Thank you.
The next speaker is Jennifer Edwards. Is that right, on Harbor Lakes Drive?
Commissioners, thank you for all that you do. I want to start by just stating a few things. Pools prevent drowning. Machines and weights maintain or build muscle strength. Group exercise classes maintain brain health and memory. Pickleball maintains mobility. And after school and summer care for working parents like myself provides opportunities for us to work and contribute to the local economy, which we value. Service members, it is imperative that they maintain mission readiness. Let's look at the county health rankings from 2024. 78% of Hood County residents have access to exercise opportunities, and the Y is an important part of that. We have a 33% obesity rate, which is actually less than the US and Texas percentages of 34 and 36 respectively. We need to keep or maintain our current state of health in Hood County. However, Hood County, I want to mention, does rank low in this area. We only have one primary care physician per 2,680 people. This is worse than the state of Texas and the national rate. This is why preventative wellness is so important for keeping preventative health and lower blood pressure and maintaining proper weight. The Hood County YMCA has the ability, if maintained, to reduce medical costs, to help people learn about preventative health, and to keep our tax dollars local. If not, some of us will be going to Fort Worth. The Hood County YMCA enables people like ourselves to think about the children, working population, and the aging population in Hood County. The decisions now will impact health now and in the future, and we've been a almost 20-year resident of Hood County. Thank you.
Next speaker is Kenny Lammons.
Don't know why I have to follow that, but my name is Kenny Lammons. My family, my wife and my young children and I moved here about 2.5 years ago. One of the main reasons we moved here was for a church, and we're thankful for that. We also loved the square and we loved the lake. But one of the first treasures that we found in this town was the YMCA. I could go on and on about the spiritual and emotional and familial benefits that we've personally received from the YMCA, but I think we've got a lot of that already today. So I just wanted to go through a few of the other benefits. I don't think that you have to have a PhD in economics to see that the benefit of the YMCA is a lot more than just simply how much money could we get for this building by leasing it or selling it to somebody else. So I own a small business in town, financial services and insurance, and I personally have seen my business thrive by partnering with the YMCA through various events as well as sponsorship opportunities. So I just want to go through a quick list of kind of secondary benefits that maybe haven't been touched on as often that I think the YMCA can uniquely provide to Granbury. So there's the jobs of the people that work at the YMCA. There's all the contractors that serve the YMCA, from cutting the grass or replacing the roof, signage, and so on. There's a farmer's market every Saturday that I personally go shop at. That's the only place in town that I'm aware of where a farmer's market gathers on the YMCA property. There's swim lessons, there's swim meets, there is youth sports, community events, sponsorship opportunities, as I just mentioned, birthday parties, summer parties, kids' night out, which provides parents like myself and my wife a way to get our kids somewhere safe so that we can go spend some money on the square and spend some time together. So I just wanted to mention a few of the other benefits that others haven't mentioned. We would like to urge you guys to think about what type of town that you want to live in, or maybe that you would want your children or grandchildren to grow up in. And I think the YMCA is a part of that picture for most of us. Thank you.
Next speaker is Clint Helton.
Morning, Judge and Commissioners and citizens. My objection is not to the existence of the YMCA as far as helping everyone. It's obvious that everyone here seems to have benefited from the YMCA, and it's meant obviously a lot to many, many people, and its loss would be devastating to a lot of people. I grant that. I just want to point out that the YMCA markets itself as a Christian organization. Young Men's Christian Association is the title, is the name. And their mission statement is to put Christian principles into practice through programs that build a healthy spirit, mind, and body for all. And it's a mission-based organization that's dedicated to providing comprehensive programs and services that enrich communities and all the people who live in them across the country, the fulfillment of our mission. Now, that sounds all good, but I've got to warn you, I've scoured the website, and there have been other reports around the nation about, for instance, the transgender issues in other parts of the nation that obviously may not affect here. But I want to warn you that you go on the website, and almost every entity and public entity and private entity and corporation have been captured by leftists, and it's not a Christian organization. You just go through and read the website, and it reads like all the other boilerplate language from all these other organizations that have been hijacked by leftism. It is antithetical. Its values are antithetical to that of our Western Christian heritage. And my objection, it may not affect anyone here. I'm not saying anyone even in the leadership of our local facility is into this. I just want everyone to know it is not a Christian organization, and it's in name only. Thank you.
The next speaker is Roseanne Kale.
Thank you for letting us speak, commissioners, and I'm not a public speaker, so I'm just going to kind of tell you what I see there. My name is Roseanne Kale. I'm a private investigator. I go to the YMCA with my daughter every morning at 6 a.m. We go upstairs and we walk, and then we go downstairs and work out on the machines. But she had a hip replacement, and she lost her son, and my husband had a stroke. The YMCA, and he passed away 6 years ago, but if it wasn't for the YMCA, with him being able to get in the water and us do water exercises and things like that, he couldn't have done as well as he did. He did get better from that, was able to go back to work, and then got cancer. But we've been in Granbury for 30 years. I remember the old YMCA that we went to, and just the mornings there, and the people there, and the guys that sit, and women that sit around and have their coffee in the mornings, and just good conversation. I see teenagers coming over there that are not on the streets. I see little children that are just so excited to come in, especially when they get to have one of the donuts that the big guys get, you know. I mean, it's just, and Christy working, she's pulling a double today. I don't know if she's here. I didn't see her, but she had to pull a double today, and she's been there for so long. And there's others here that I see every day. And we go 5 days a week, and I don't know what else to say, but I just pray that y'all make a decision to leave us open.
The next speaker is Carrie Basinger.
Hello. My name is Carrie Basinger, and I just want to point out some facts. I understand a lot of people in this room either work or continually go to the Y for recreation. But I think the facts need to be stated that it is a business. In 2023, they had $4 million in profit, if you pull their tax return, which is public information, since they're an elected 501c3. And in 2022, they got a $6 million grant from the federal government to expand and do building improvements, which they used on 2 of their facilities. They operate 13 facilities presently under their umbrella. They are not affiliated with the federal, with the bigger YMCA. They are independent of that. They do lack building maintenance on this building. My kids have participated in swim for at least 5 years at that facility. They, understandably, they've raised some rates 250%, citing that they don't have adequate funds. But the big picture is the taxpayers of Hood County should not be subsidizing a business that made $4 million a year. They make plenty of money to support and pay their own rent, whether they choose to be open, whether paying market rent or buying the building for market rate. And market rate means no concessions, no points, no owner financing, nothing. A straight purchase for appraised value. They can maintain the building themselves. I can't think of many other businesses that make $4 million a year and are asking for such a subsidy from the taxpayers. People pay dues to go there. They're double paying with their tax dollars, and that's just not right. Thank you for your time, including the GISD also pays about $10,000 a year to use that facility for their swimmers.
Next speaker is Bonnie Lindsay.
Commissioners, I'm very happy to be here. I am an advocate for the YMCA, and I really appreciate all of you being here. It is really helpful. Everyone has stolen my thunder. All the things I was going to say has already been said, except what I have found with the Y is they help the most vulnerable of our community. They help our children. They help the seniors. They help the disabled. And that, to me, is probably the most important thing that they do. And I appreciate your time. And I know that the commissioners will make a very thoughtful decision. I respectfully, Bonnie Lindsay, member of the Y.
The next speaker is Lisa Beatty.
Hi, my name is Lisa Beatty, and my husband and I moved here 8 years ago, and at that time, we also joined the Y, so we have been members of the Y for that long as well. And while over the years we have enjoyed and can resonate with a lot of the sentiment and the positive things that have been shared today, I do have some concerns. My first concern is that the YMCA only pays $1 in rent a year and 0 property taxes. Yet they charge the residents market rate for their services. For the last 2 years, our dues have gone up, and they earn over $1 million just in dues alone. In addition to that, my kids swim as part of the SEALS program and have been for the last 8 years. And in February, which was just a month ago, we were told that our fees were going to double. We didn't get much notification of that rate increase, and it was about a week before we were to sign up our kids for the spring season. And when we questioned why more information wasn't communicated to us to give us some advance warning, We were told that the rate was justified, that research was done, and that it was commensurate with what swim programs charge in Fort Worth. Well, we're not in Fort Worth, we're in Granbury. And for families that have 2 or 3 swimmers, this is a lot of money. And so families have had to choose whether they're going to allow their kids to swim. In addition, most of the decisions made on behalf of our Y are made in Fort Worth. As someone mentioned earlier, we are one of 12 or 13 locations. I don't feel that they are in touch with our community, even though they are an organization that prides itself on serving our community. Thank you for your time.
The next speaker is Carolyn Reeves.
Thank you for letting me speak. I think it's great that y'all profited from or benefited from the YMCA, but I think the YMCA should pay their fair share like the rest of us. Our property taxes have skyrocketed with our home values going up. Food has gone up, and I believe we should not be paying to subsidize the YMCA. Apparently, they make $4 million, so they can definitely pay fair market value for lease or purchasing the building. Again, I don't see why as taxpayers have to subsidize them. When we need a new jail, we need to at least remodel the jail. We need a bond for that. We don't need to subsidize the YMCA. I moved here because Granbury's safe, and I want our law enforcement to be able to hold our criminals accountable, and I support that. The YMCA has had 10 years to advance themselves at $1 a month. I don't see how they want more charity from Granbury. They need to start giving back to the community. If I saw that they were giving, the swim team free pool access every year, that might have benefited them, but they're charging them $1,300 a month. That's ridiculous when they're only paying $1. Anyway, thank you.
Okay. The next speaker is Faith Barnes.
Thank you for having me today. I'm just going to say a few things. First of all, I'm opposed to any sale of the YMCA or any break in the agreement. It sounds like there already might be a break in the agreement. I have been a member of the Y for over 10 years. My kids walk every day from AMS, play basketball with Mr. Lawrence, where I've never known his name before, but he smiles and plays with my kids, and it really is amazing. As a taxpayer, I would ask that you guys have a community forum on this issue. There is so much misinformation, as you're hearing here. They need to see the original contract to see what was going on. It's not fair. It's not a good practice of open government for us to be out here wondering what's on your side. I've made some phone calls to the YMCA, and they've been pretty forthright. But hey, I want to hear both sides of the story. I don't want to just hear from the YMCA because I don't know what they're telling me is true. I also just want to leave you with the fact when I'm listening to all these stories, do you guys want to be remembered for taking these blessings away from our community, or do you want to be remembered for keeping them?
Final speaker is Alan Masiego.
Your Honor, honorable commissioners, my name is Moss Barger. I know my spelling was kind of illegible, so I apologize for that. I've owned property and paid taxes since 1978 here, and love and respect and honor this community. I have to say, I'm not a member of the YMCA. Haven't been a member of the YMCA. And I really don't want to address the issue directly, because what I see, and I want to address you directly as commissioners, because you know, as a citizen, when I look on the website, I just see that there's a discussion today. I just got wind of this from something else. It appears, from what rumor I understand, that there's supposed to be some negotiations going on for several years. I hear various things about that, but it doesn't seem that the negotiations went on. I hear various contentions. I'm for, you know, free enterprise and the promotion of free enterprise in this city and country. I'm for religion in this country, but I don't think that we're to judge or adjudicate as a civil organization the values of Christianity that one particular group holds. But I think you are responsible for talking to us, the citizens, about the nature of the decision that you're making, and present all the information to us that you will have in your hands so that we can decide if you are making the right decision and speak to you properly, and not just be dealing with rumors and innuendos and cheerleading on one side or cheerleading on the other. So I hope that you will come back, as the last speaker suggested, and have a commission to understand and speak about this issue.
And for your comments now, and now I'd like to call if there's any commissioner would like to say something. Commissioner Samuelson, you said you would like to say something.
Yes, I would. I wanted to go over the timeline because many of you may not know what has transpired over the last 11 months. But I'm going to actually start in January of 2023 when I took office. One of the first things that started bubbling up was the maintenance at the Y, and I worked with our HR coordinator and our building maintenance person and Commissioner Wilson, and we had many meetings with the local folks at the Y trying to get some issues worked out around some maintenance that was not being maintained, mostly around the grounds. There were big holes in the back of the property where a child could, you know, step in or break a leg, or, you know, there were risks back there. So we worked very diligently with the leadership there at the Y, and over a period of several months, we did get those worked out. Then many of you may not know me or follow me, but one of the things that I do a lot of is contract review. And so as that started bubbling up with the, you know, responsibility of maintenance of the grounds, I said, well, where's the contract? So I pulled out the contract and I started looking at it line by line by line, because that's what I do. I'm very detail-oriented. And I started asking some questions. Well, who's doing this? When is this happening? Are we getting this from the Y? Is the Y providing this to us as it says in the contract? And some things were and some things weren't. So we started trying to, we actually, what was that, Jack? To your, Commissioner Wilson, probably around, I'm going to say April of 2023, we formed the Y Oversight Committee. Was that about April 20? Yeah. April 2023, we formed the Y Oversight Committee, and this is all public in every, we can't have meetings without it being public. So the meeting was posted. We had this discussion in open court. There were minutes to that meeting that are posted on our website. And we developed the Y Oversight Committee, which consisted of Commissioner Wilson and myself and our HR director and our building maintenance director, so that we could have better communication and discussion with the Y on the maintenance of the building. So several things that needed to be updated in the contract. The contract is really a construction contract with kind of a leaseor towards the back. So on April 25th, Commissioners Court publicly noticed we had a Commissioners Court meeting which Michael Korn was present at that Commissioners Court meeting. We voted to send a letter of termination in accordance with the contract with 13 months' notice. So this was last April. 13 months' notice, along with the proposed new lease. Our wonderful Hood County News reporter, there was a long article in the April 29th, 2024 Hood County News that went into very much detail about what this was all about. So this has all been in the public since last April. So between April and August, our assistant county attorney reached out to the Y on several occasions. By August 2024, upon hearing nothing from the YMCA, I placed it back on the agenda because, as I said, we can't discuss this unless we have a posted public meeting. So in August, I'm also a person who watches the timeline, and I don't want to get caught at the end of the line with not a plan. So I kept pushing. Have we heard? Have we heard? Let's get going. Pretty soon it's going to be April of next year, and we won't have the situation worked out. So August 2024, upon hearing nothing from the YMCA, I placed it back on the agenda. The item was on the August 27th, 2024 public agenda. The meeting's public. The minutes are posted. John Michael Korn, executive at the YMCA, joined us for an executive session and committed to working with our county attorney to further the proposed lease agreement that we had provided in April. August 28th, September 6th, September 11th, our county attorney sent emails to Mr. Korn requesting a meeting. On September 11th, Mr. Korn replied, "Alan, we are finalizing the work. I will head down there to meet you. I should be able to provide a day this week," a day when he would be able to meet. September 19th, September 26th, our county attorney reached out to Mr. Korn asking for a meeting. Hearing nothing again, on October 2nd, I placed it back on the agenda for the October 8th, 2024 meeting. Then on October 7th, which was past the deadline to put something on the agenda, Mr. Korn sent an email to our assistant county attorney and said, "We will have an offer the last week of this month," again, October. On October 31st, I checked with our county attorney to see if we had received the offer from the Y. He had heard nothing. On November 1st, I wrote him again offering to talk to, this is our county attorney, saying he had heard nothing. On November 1st, I wrote to him yesterday offering to talk to him at any time, but received no reply. On November 4th, I personally reached out to Mr. Korn and asked for an update. I offered to place this back on the agenda for November 12th if he desired to have a discussion with the court. I received no response. We heard nothing during the month of November from Mr. Korn. Knowing that time was slipping by, again, remember, we started this process in April. So 8 months have passed. I suggested to our assistant county attorney to contact Mr. Korn's boss, Mr. Michael Brown. Perhaps Mr. Korn had left the company. Perhaps he was on medical leave. Maybe he's changed positions, but he had gone radio silent. We had no idea. So on December 4th, our assistant county attorney emailed Mr. Brown and brought him up to date. We had not heard back from Mr. Korn for 2 months at that time. This is the email to Mr. Brown from our assistant county attorney. Mr. Brown, as you undoubtedly know, Hood County has offered the YMCA a new lease agreement or the opportunity to purchase the property at 1475 James Road, Granbury, Texas. I've been working with John Michael Korn, who is in his last email to me, suggested a meeting to discuss the details, either for the Y to purchase or renegotiate the lease. In response to his email, I have suggested multiple opportunities to meet, but I have not heard back from him for about 2 months. I sincerely hope he is okay and nothing has happened to him. If appropriate, I would like to meet with you to discuss. I would be glad to come to your location. We sincerely seek an amicable solution for both parties where the YMCA can continue to serve our community. On December 7th, we received a reply from Mr. Brown requesting to push this to January due to holidays and staff on vacation. However, he did offer to personally meet on December 18th. The meeting on December 18th, the Y stated, now this was just with our county attorney, one commissioner. It wasn't a public meeting. December 18th, the Y stated that they would not have anything to reply until after their board meeting met on February 20th. February 20th, 2025. This is, remember, the lease proposal was submitted to them in April of the end of April 2024. Our assistant county attorney reached out on February 24th and was told he would have something very soon. Then after 11 months, on March 14th, the county received the response dated March 10th to the proposed lease that was provided to the Y in April of 2024. The letter from the Y requested a response in 2 weeks by March 24th. So this is what prompted this special called meeting, because our next scheduled meeting won't be until the 25th, which is after the deadline that the YMCA requested. We have been communicating with the Y in good faith for 11 months. We just received their response on March 14th. Additionally, the Y is currently in default of the current contract, as they have not reimbursed the county for the property insurance, which is $28,000. The invoice was sent to Todd Baker at the Y on June 10th of last year. And another reminder was sent on July 18th. It is now 8 months late. Why would the Y not abide by the terms of the contract that is still active until 5/31/2025? So I just wanted to make sure that, as others have said, the facts and the timeline, that you all know what has been happening over the last 11 months. There are many articles in the paper. As I said, Ms. Ashley Terry covers Commissioner's Court very well. She pretty much talks verbatim about what happens in court. You can always go to our YouTube channel and watch every court that we have. You can go to the agenda on YouTube. You can go to the agenda item and go exactly to that part in the YouTube. You don't have to watch the whole 2 or 3 hours. You can go to that exact spot. So all of this has been public. Nothing has been done without notifying the public of it being on the agenda. The results of the Commissioners Court's meetings are on, the minutes are posted, the YouTube's posted. So I just wanted everyone to know that our county attorney, and with me pushing him a lot, where I can't see him in the room, maybe he's here back in the corner, to get this going, because I did not want to be in this spot. Here we are, few weeks away from the end of the contract, and now here we are. This was not the best path. So that's all I have to say. Thank you, Judge.
At this time, this thing was scheduled, so we're going into executive session.
Hey,
to
Judge.
discuss this.
Judge, may I say something?
Yes.
I appreciate it's great to see this many people come in when it's amazing when something's near and dear to you that you can get activated and come in here, and I appreciate that. I want to add to what Commissioner Samuelson said, because we've heard somebody come in here and talk about the facts, and I would like to go back to the beginning. I have pulled up the ballot measure that the citizens in this county voted on back in November 6th of 2012 at the, at a November election to, when this ballot measure was put on to be voted on by the taxpayers, you. And here's what it says. The issuance of $10 million of tax bonds to finance construction of a facility to be owned by the county and leased to and operated by a public or private entity other than the county as a commercial activity, community recreational center in accordance with state law, and approving the levy of the tax in payment thereof, period. Did y'all hear the word YMCA in that? So I just wanted to point that out because ended up there was a contract. And by the way, this ballot measure is a public information. You can get that from the elections office. There's also a lease agreement between the county that was entered into a few months later after this. And by the way, the ballot measure passed on November the 6th, 2012. And in 2013, actually a year later, December of 2013, a lease was entered into pursuant to this bond measure between the county, and it just so happened that the operator that they went into the agreement with happened to be named the YMCA. And this lease agreement is public information also. And just to basically dovetail onto what Commissioner Samuelson said, we're certainly not trying to hide any ball up here. All this is out here. Every bit of this information is out here for you to look at. Now, the first counter, and as Commissioner Samuelson said, that we had to give them 13 months notice to get some kind of ball moving to do something different than was entered into 10 years ago. But I will add that the first thing that I saw coming back to us to start a discussion was dated March the 10th of this month, which is roughly 2 weeks ago, and we didn't see it till a couple of days later. Well, I think it came to my email March the 10th. So March the 10th, 2 weeks ago, from their lawyer. First thing we heard was from their lawyer. So we want and welcome an open-armed and open discussion. We don't want to shut that facility down. We don't want to see that happen. But we're trying to figure out an alternative that works for all parties involved. I think I heard a couple of people ask us to do that. And we certainly want to do that. But I'm going to urge you to go look at some other things while we're talking about it. For instance, there's a form, IRS form called the 990 form. It is a form that is filed by nonprofits like the YMCA. And I urge you to go look at their 2021 filing, 990. Look at all of it. Look at the salaries. Look at the expenses. Look what they spend money on. Look where they get their money from. And then pull up the 2023 990 form, which I have scrutinized quite a bit. And look at the differences in 2 years in some of that. That's all public information. It's all you got to do is, if you put in the search engine having trouble seeing it. YMCA of Metropolitan Fort Worth, 990, just put those words in there, it's going to pop up. You can even put the year. You can go back as far as you want to. They are required by the IRS to file this. So, again, we're not doing, the Commissioners Court is struggling to do what we think is the right thing here, and we don't know what that is right this minute. This is a discussion today. And, you know, I appreciate that the troops are rallied to come in here, but I haven't heard anybody on this bench talk about shutting down the Y. I could go into a lot of stuff on the contract, but I won't do that today. But I just wanted to point that out, that we haven't just willy-nilly decided to come up here and bulldoze the YMCA building or any of that. That's not what we're here for today. That's all I got for now.
Judge, one thing for me, and I'll be very brief, and none of this started as willy-nilly, as Commissioner Eagle said there. There were some issues going on inside that contract that we started looking into and just never could get these things remedied. We kept butting heads on these issues, and that's what's led us down this road to where we are today. That was the initial reason for offering a lease termination, is because we were not getting these issues resolved in the beginning. So here we are many months later after that, and now we've got to make a quick decision here. And that's, you know, there's been a lot led up to this. And I think one of the things is nobody really wanted to air anybody's dirty laundry out on this and go public with this deal. Let's get this figured out behind the scenes and get these things resolved and worked out. And hopefully we can still get there. So, all right, I'm done. I told you I'd be brief.
Well, now what we're going to do is that the law requires that when you're entering into lease agreements on property, that you go into executive session. So that's what we're going to do. So at this time, at 15 minutes till 4, we're going to adjourn into executive session right now to hopefully enter into fruitful negotiations regarding this lease with the YMCA. So thank everybody for coming, and no action will be taken in executive session back here today. Okay.
It's 4:37. The judge is left. I call this meeting to order, and we just come out of executive session, and no action will be taken today. We're hereby adjourned.